I realize I realize that this may shock you. It may shock and appall you, but there is drama in the WNBA surrounding Caitlin Clark. Yes, no, it is true. It is true. I know. I get it. It's hard to believe. But we're going to get into it. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate all your support. Hope you all having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Real quick on that note, because I saw a comment. I know it's probably been a while. If you are new, and a lot of you are, thank you, by the way. The 19, all the way back in 2024, I did a critique of Angel Reese's footwork from the perspective of someone who trains athletes to improve those things. That was it. No attacks, nothing personal. Someone, Angel Reese fan, obviously decided to threaten me with violence. And then they came back and said, the only people that watch my channel and give me views are my 19 cousins. So I said, hey, you know what? Great name for all of my YouTube supporters. So that is all of you. Thank you for being here. Quick favor, like, comment, make sure you're subscribed if you already did, because YouTube did it again yesterday, man. But anyway, and subscribe if you haven't already. I truly do appreciate it. It helps out tremendously. Caitlin Clark, now you knew it was going to happen, right? They won't ask Stephanie White any of the important questions because the Fever Media are a bunch of stenographers, a bunch of propagandists, a bunch of incompetent fools. They are not journalists in any way, shape, or form. I'll give you a quick example before we dig in, is how I know this. Y'all remember the absolute mess surrounding the injury, not playing late status of Caitlin Clark. And then we knew that Stephanie White lied about things. The Fever, completely bungled it. They handled it poorly. The Fever Media was nowhere to be found to give us any updates on what was going on. However, just recently, when Skip Bayless unfortunately fell for a fake news account called Fever Updates, who just makes stuff up and puts it out there, put out a thing about Stephanie White was imminently going to be fired. I think they even put out one where Jan Jensen was taking the job for the Fever. And anyway, and Skip Bayless fell for it. And so Skip tweeted out that Stephanie White was going to be fired. And his bigger point was how Caitlin Clark was handled in that bench situation was, I think, correct. But of course, he got a lot of heat for that. And boom, that was on the weekend. And yet, I don't know, within like an hour of that going out, the Fever Media was mobilized. They heard direct from the front office of the Fever that it was fake news and Stephanie White was not going to be fired. So, just to give you an idea of how ridiculously incompetent and useless Fever Media is, I could go, and maybe I'll do a video breaking them down, but I could go through lie after lie after lie from Stephanie White, things that we know are provable lies, and the media never asks her about it. By the way, to be fair, the WNBA media is just as bad. They have never asked Tiffany Hayes about her online activities when it comes to a fan threatening violence against Caitlin Clark, and Tiffany Hayes being like, yes, I ride with that. Let's make it happen. Never, not a single question. But anyway, so now, of course, we got Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White being asked about the incident on the sideline. And we're going to take a listen to Caitlin Clark. It's only about 30 seconds long.
First of all, two people being competitive, two people that really want to win. And, I think a lot of those things happen all the time. And I know there's a camera on me, and that's how it's going to be. But there's a lot of people out there in the media or on TV that they think they know a lot of things, and they're just blatantly wrong about a lot of things. And I ride for Steph. I ride for these girls. Steph has my back more than anybody. So, nobody in that locker room, in our locker room, or Steph or our coaching staff thought twice about it. It's just another example of what everybody, all of you, want to blow up and make something that is just lost and not in reality. First of all, two people being
Okay,
competitive.
so here is a issue that I have with this. And let me be clear first that Caitlin Clark is in a really, really, really tough position, okay? Because, and I think I saw this right away and actually responded with a tweet that I made very clear. This is what Caitlin Clark has to say. And in watching this and hearing this, this is like the captured soldier, right? reading the statement from the enemy, denouncing their own country and denouncing their soldiers and, maybe talking about war crimes and all that stuff. This is 100% in tone, in speech, a hostage video. Purely. The organization said, "Caitlin Clark, you have to go out and say these things. We have to tamp this down because it has blown up into a real problem for us, as it should, by the way. And we need you, just like we needed to trot you out on the whole injury thing and take the blame for the Fever organization. We needed you to go after the media and, in effect, subtly go after the fans, which she kind of did here too as well. And again, I get it, so like don't get this twisted that I'm like throwing Caitlin Clark under the bus. But because of what has been happening, because of the situation that she's being forced into, a lot of fans are like, you know what? I can't anymore because Caitlin, I get it. It's tough. It's brutal. And everyone's been defending her and going hardcore and had her back. And she's never acknowledged that, right? She's never defended the fans when things have happened with them. And what I think got a lot of people here is the answer could have stopped at the first half. It's kind of how I felt like, okay, I get it 100%. You got to go out, you got to get rid of it. Just say, hey, you know what? It happens. I'm a fiery competitor. My coach is a fiery competitor. It was the heat of the moment. We had a difference of opinion. It's done. It happens. We moved on. It happens in sports. Boom. That's it. You're done. Great answer. Love it. Move on because that actually is true. It does happen a lot. Maybe not to that degree, right? Like I think there are other issues in this, and I've talked about that in other videos. But yeah, coaches and players have confrontations. If you think, as great as their relationship was, that Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson didn't have issues, or Kobe Bryant and Phil Jackson didn't have issues, or whoever you want to put the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, whatever duo in terms of head coach and superstar you want to put together, if you didn't think they had issues, we could go to the idiot Travis Kelsey actually physically bumping his coach, Andy Reid, screaming in his face. Andy's like 70 some years old. I mean, there's an example, by the way, where you could say, well, that one's over the top and doesn't count. You're not spinning that away with fiery competitor crap. Travis Kelsey should have been suspended for that, but that's another issue for another day. I think, and I'm going to show you because this is where we're getting, this is what worries me with Caitlin Clark. Uh, when she's forced to do this stuff. And I get that she is, but I think what tipped a lot of her fans was when she went from the spiel I just gave, which is, just a version of her first part, to where she had to twist it a little bit and be like, I ride with Steph. I ride with Steph. No one has my back like Steph. That is demonstrably untrue, and everyone knows it's untrue. And again, I get why it's being said. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not here trashing Caitlin Clark. The position she is in, I do not envy her in any way, shape, or form. I just think, she might have been better off not saying that part. Now, I'll get to another clip to show you that that may have been part of her little speech that she had to give. That may have been the words given by the front office. Hey, you need to go out and say these things. You need to use these words. But again, this is also another example, and I've talked about it before, how good Caitlin Clark can be with media. And I think that that's kind of being used against her just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I want to scroll through because I want you to see and understand what I mean in terms of there are people getting fed up with this stuff. So here we have some of the comments under here, and you will see where I commented as well. This is what I was saying. I get this is the answer she has to give publicly, but at some point her fans will walk away because if they think she doesn't care, they aren't going to keep defending her. She might not realize it, but it's her fans she's trashing right now. She's in a difficult spot. I might have been a little harsh with trashing, but I'm making a very specific point that this is how it's going to be received by some people. As in the very next one, I believe, and if I'm memory serves, Andy was actually a classmate of Caitlin Clark's, okay, at Iowa. Caitlin Clark needs to stand up for herself. The media and rival fans will call her entitled anyways, so no downside to fighting. Stephanie White pulled her after she accounted for all 8 Fever points in 3:30. Then Portland runs the Fever out of the gym. And that is 100% true. That is 100% true. And again, there's a lie that I'm talking about with Stephanie White after that game when she said, oh, that's our normal rotation. It's not. 100% not. Once again, saying what is needed to diffuse the situation, knowing it has to come from her. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But here we go. However, being too close to see it is a real thing. You ride for Steph, you challenge, argue because you know her 70 White's offensive and defensive schemes aren't good. We're seeing it GM after GM. That's not general manager. That's not Amber Cox. That's game. Twitter's limits to categories. People have to get creative. But that's what I mean, right? Like, and I've interacted with Sally plenty of times. Hardcore Caitlin Clark fan, right? These are fans saying, Caitlin, be careful. Like they ride with her. So again, don't get it twisted that I'm here trashing Caitlin Clark. That is not the case. I'm making you all aware of the bigger picture and how this can look and what the situation is for Caitlin Clark. That is, I don't know, almost impossible. And that's why I said all I can think of is she should have stopped at the first half. Like I think it's the I ride with Steph and no one has my back like Steph is kind of like what people are saying over the top just a little bit. Maybe don't go that far because everyone knows that's untrue. The first part, clearly an athlete doing the right thing, right? Like that's if that happened anywhere else, the athlete comes out and says that first part, that is absolutely what needs to be said for the organization, for the team, for the whole situation. Like it happened, it's something that's kind of normal. Once it's done, and we're moving on. We've got the next game to worry about. We that means nothing. That's the water under the bridge, however you want to put it. How does a coach that takes you out within 3 minutes of the game have your back? Right? See, this is what I'm saying. People asking questions. Stockholm syndrome at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. So some people on both sides after, yeah, is this what I think it is? Oh yeah, yeah. Some people on both sides basically went into cardiac arrest and gave themselves strokes for nothing. Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. Stephanie White isn't going anywhere. That's it. Blah blah blah. And this is the other thing too, right? Now people are using this. Anyone familiar with sports, again, because I've seen this. Well, not all the extra, but like that first part of Caitlin's answer, and also just confrontations in general. I think there's a lot more to it with Stephanie and Caitlin, but the more general athletes and coaches clashing thing and then statements after, you see it all the time. And everyone knows it's nonsense, right? But now you have people who are going to use this and say, oh, look, see, Caitlin loves Stephanie White. You're all idiots. You're all lying. She loves her. They're great. It's wonderful. She's so happy. Which, of course, isn't true because we all know this is PR, folks. Brainwashed or 3D chess player or somewhere in between. If I was CC, preserving my brand would be my first concern, closely followed by my health playing status. So right there's someone I'm saying who kind of gets it, but is worried. Like she's surrounded by this 24/7. Is she getting absorbed by it, or is this smart self-preservation? That's the concern a lot of people have. I'm so effing done battling for Caitlin Clark online. See, this is where we're getting the frustration coming in. This is exhausting, and either she's lying and won't stand up for herself, or she's just using her fans to back her up online. She's losing fans by the game, so she better figure it out on how she wants to play this. See what I'm saying? Right? And I'm not saying a lot of people are at that extreme. I'm saying the longer this goes and the more instances we have of this type of thing, you get that frustration because I get it. Caitlin Clark fans, speaking of riding, they ride hard for Caitlin Clark, and they have been through a lot since Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA. And people, they're getting tired, man. They're getting tired. They're getting fed up. They're like, what is the point? And that's the larger risk. We'll get to that in another minute. People really, oh yeah, that's another one of the people like using this to be like, see, everything's wonderful. The drama is fun to talk about, but I'm hoping the relationship is okay behind the scenes. If not, we're super effed. I'm not sure what that means. Steph does not have your back, Caitlin Clark. You need to actually stand up for yourself and stop trusting the wrong people. And again, that's true. But and this is where it gets tricky. I'm 100% with Caitlin Clark that she has to make that statement about, "Hey, we were competitive and it was fun," even though it's demonstrably false to everyone watching, right? But hey, go read George Orwell's 1984, right? Don't trust your lying eyes. Don't trust your lying eyes, folks. Trust the pop propaganda. But because she couldn't come in that situation say, I hate my coach. We have a terrible relationship. She's trying to change me as a player and ruin me. I mean, she can't do that, folks, right? And I hardcore 100% get it. She can't do it. But going back to my previous point, people are getting very, very frustrated. And some people are worrying is, wait, does Caitlin actually believe that? Does she actually believe that no one has her back like Stephanie White? Because if she believes that, I do not need to be defending this woman anymore, right? That's the thought process a lot of people are having. It's a legitimate thought process. I'm not saying they're right, but I'm saying to have that reaction normal. She's being a professional is all. She's not going to call out her coach people. She knows, right? And there's the thing, but the problem is a lot of people wonder if she knows. That's the worry. Coach, play some damn defense. I am. My hands are up. Coach, get the bleep out. Raven, sit here. Competitive. Yeah, say no, that's not competitive. That's not normal. That is a serious, serious issue. Now she's at the point where she has to come to defend herself because the media is trying to destroy her. That's true. That is true. All because she played a game against the Valks and rubbed it in. Get over it. Yeah, I mean that's not why. I'm not going after Kentucky girl, but it's a lot more than that, right? And she didn't rub it in. Her and Tiff were going at it all game. That was normal trash talk. That's ridiculous. They managed to take the focus off the real problem, subbing out CC and AB after 3 minutes, playing the entire bench the first quarter. Terrible coaching is the problem, not whether they like each other or not. Yeah, 100%. And I got one other thing that I want to share with you. We are going to play a little Stephanie White, only going to play about 20, 30 seconds because there's a specific part that I want you to hear.
I think what happened in that moment is I was challenging a player. It's coaching. It's what it is. I don't often think it becomes an issue if you're watching it in men's sports most of the time. And my relationship with Caitlin is great. Like I love Caitlin. I ride with her. Like this is we have a great relationship.
It is. I ride with her. Sound familiar? Does that sound like something Caitlin Clark said? If you kind of wonder, hey, is this coordinated? Is this a speech? Is this the hostage video for Caitlin Clark that Stephanie White is backing up because same words? Now, hey, I don't know. Maybe those are phrases they both use all of the time, but I thought it was kind of interesting. But here's also what got me, and I bring this up because this is a pattern and a problem with the WNBA, and Stephanie White is hardcore old guard WNBA. I mean, she is the epitome of what the WNBA stands for, which is one of the reasons they ride so hard. Speaking of using that phrase, the media and the WNBA ecosystem, why they ride so hard with Stephanie White, because she entered the league as a happily married, straight, white woman. Yeah, I'm getting into tricky territory now, but she's no longer that. She's a not so straight married white woman with a black wife. By the way, one who is a hardcore woke activist who hates Caitlin Clark. ESPN, by the way. I'm not sure if she's still there, but she was at ESPN. And that is gold for the WNBA, man. Like that is right up there as one of their biggest priorities as a basketball league is to be able to do something like that and keep that scalp. That is hardcore WNBA stuff. Uh, oh, I can hear the screeching now. Oh, I just ended my YouTube career. Yeah, but anyway, so there you got some of the reactions. I'm curious what you all think about this. Where are you right now in terms of defending Caitlin Clark? What is it you want to see going forward? What are you worried about? Does this bother you at all, or are you 100% like, yeah, I get the whole thing. I don't have a problem with it because I understand Caitlin Clark has to do it. Are you concerned about the second part with the ride? Are you concerned that she actually believes this? My big worry with Caitlin Clark for Caitlin Clark is it is very, very difficult, no matter how strong you are mentally, for any human being to endure the 24/7 onslaught that Caitlin Clark has had to endure because it's far beyond, obviously, the media scrutiny of her being a great basketball player. That is not the issue. I don't think anyone has a problem with a superstar getting the media attention that they should get for being that superstar in a sport, whether it's Caitlin Clark, Michael Phelps, LeBron James, Abby Wambach going back to the greatest U.S. women's national team, Michael Jordan in his day, Kobe Bryant, Katie Ledecky as a swimmer, Kerry Strug going back with the injury for the U.S. Women's Olympic gymnastics team, whoever, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, Monica Seles, if we want to get into tennis, whatever it might be. Um, I have no problem with it. It's tough for them at times, but that's part of the thing. But Caitlin Clark, 99% of her attention is not that. It's not about her basketball. It's about beating her into submission. It's about humiliating her. It's about switching her to be a hardcore old guard WNBA supporter who turns her back on her fans that made her. And I think that is a huge risk, not just for Caitlin Clark, but for the WNBA. And I'm going to do another video specifically on this topic because I know this has gotten kind of long and dig into it more. But I will also leave you with this. Where are the ratings? Where are the ratings? We've seen a game or two. Do you know, what was it, the second game of the season? They played the Sparks out in LA. Still no ratings for that game. Now, if the ratings were great, it'd be in our face 24/7. The Aces played, off the top of my head, I can't remember who they played, but the Aces were the lead-in game to that Fever Sparks game. 343,000 viewers for that. Now, last year or 2024, remember, a couple of the non-Caitlin Clark million viewer games were lead-ins or games after the Indiana Fever. Now you had a lead-in, second game of the season, after Caitlin only played 13 games last year with the Aces, right? A'ja Wilson, the face of the league, 343,000. I saw another Aces game not that long ago. I think it was 543,000. I can't recall seeing any other Fever games, right? I know Ion used to post in 2024. It was like within a day or two after a Fever game, Ion's posting, we've got this record and there's this record and 1 million here and 1.5 million here and all this other stuff. Not seeing it. The only explanation I could come up with is that they're down. And the only reason I bring that up now is because I think that plays into all of this. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out the video as always. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. Thank you so much. Shout out 19. I will talk to y'all later.